Hello, and thank you for joining me tonight. I go by Lune INNATE, and this video is a bit casual. It's going to be a card reading. I really wanted to get one done for June, but at this point I'd like to open the invitation for us to consider this no matter when we're watching this. So at the time you're watching this, for this card reading, to provide some insight or guidance into your life, give you something to think about, something like that. And I also have some tools I'm going to be using to share with you in terms of ASMR, and I'm also going to be sharing some personal things with you and use this as an opportunity to catch you up on some, for me, like major events which have taken place, which have, just to kind of keep you clued in for those of you who are interested. So we'll start with some of the ASMR stuff and move on to the card reading, and then we'll talk about some personal stuff or mix it in. So if you don't like my talking videos, I don't know why you'd be watching this, but I'm gonna talk, so sorry to get sassy on you. Just have a little candle that's almost burnt out. Patchouli candle, but to be honest, it doesn't really smell very strong. Then I have some lovely vanilla incense matches. I get questions often about where I get these, and some little witchy kind of shops have it. I think I've even seen it in East Meets West. And you can get them on Etsy. I like to light a candle before I do any sacred work, card readings included. I'm just gonna put this in an ashtray. There. This over here might be a bit flickery. Hopefully the yellow lights complement to each other. Alright, so our dedication for the candle is just to create a sacred space for us to do this reading. Before we get on to that, well, I guess I'll just start, My father has a partner, he's been dating someone very special, and I'm very blessed by his relationship because I really like his girlfriend, his partner, and she's a Reiki master. If you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen that or even Facebook, I shared a ritual that we did together for the full moon in May, or maybe it was very early June. No, it was May. Anyway, she recently gifted me these 2 selenite wands that are perfect. Oh my god, this is going to be so good in a video to come. We can clean your aura with them. I love that there's 2. So how neat, right? I thought that you guys might like this. So be cleansing, the light play. They're just perfect. I feel like a warrior with them. Alright, so let's get into our reading. I'm gonna keep using this deck. I think they're very easy to read. and they have good messages. Some oracle cards are almost like, I don't want to say too positive. I don't think that there's such a thing, but you know, it's nice to have a balance between the depths of, you know, look out for this, make sure you're mindful of these things coming up, and not in a scary way, but just so that you have the most information to use to serve you. Oops, I keep doing that. It's been like my theme. So because these are so loud, I'm gonna shuffle them quickly down here, card style, and then I'll like playing card style, and then I'll move to shuffling them so you can see me shuffle them. But just to get okay, so and as I'm shuffling, I'm just kind of asking for guidance that would serve us to hear at this point. Something to think about, something to keep in our minds or chew on or contemplate. Sometimes we don't even like see how it could apply right away, and then it does the next day. So whatever kind of comes up. Sorry, doing a bad job of shuffling today. I've had some really major changes in my life, of which I'm extremely excited to tell you about. If you follow me on Instagram or Patreon, you guys already know. But this past week, I finally leased my own office. And I can't tell you how amazing that is, because as a practitioner, well, as a human, but specifically as a practitioner, your space is very sacred. And I've been hauling all my stuff to Manhattan, sometimes Brooklyn, to do sessions, you know, and I rent rooms as I need them. As you can imagine, the rent in Manhattan or in New York City in general is very high, so it's kind of difficult to commit to a space, but the perfect opportunity presented itself, and it seems like it literally had to present itself like 5 times before I finally got the message and released some personal fears or areas of staying comfortable and not taking, I don't want to say taking a risk, so that's not exactly how I feel, but taking a chance, like taking the step, I guess is the best way to say it. Because as we take steps and as we change and transform and take on new things and actualize things that we want, it can sometimes we hold ourselves back, and that's exactly what I was doing. So it was a good lesson for me. But I have a space now in Staten Island. It's not set up yet. My official start, official date is July 1st, but I am able to get in there and set it up beforehand. So I'd love to give you guys a tour when I get that opportunity. And one of my patrons, I'm so sorry I can't remember your name right now, but suggested to do a video on how to cleanse your space. So I'll definitely do something like that there. And yeah, I'm really excited. The main reason that I wanted the space, to be honest, is not even to see clients necessarily, because I'm doing okay the way I am. It's not like a high demand for me to have a place on Staten Island, but I'm turning it into a bit of a recording studio, or as close as I can get to that. So I'll be able to make videos during the day, which is going to be a game changer for me. Right now I have to make them at night once my son is asleep and it's quiet finally, or at least as quiet as it will be on my block. But it still gets noisy, or it's 12 o'clock at night and I'm just tired because I've been up since 6:30, and it's time to go to bed. So this is just a very exciting time for me to, I don't know, I'm just very excited about this space. So I feel like we're shuffled enough. I'm gonna cut the deck and we'll choose 3 cards. So we're just gonna cut and then I'll go from here. And we're gonna do the general theme for right now. So I'm just gonna pick one and put it down. Then we're gonna do what we can let go of, or something along the lines of, I don't want to say just release, because it can be things that we need to watch out for, or patterns that might be presenting themselves that are need to let go of. So I guess release, or what to let go of, is the simplest way I can say it. And then some advice or suggestions on not only what's to come, but perhaps how we can pull something really beautiful out of ourselves, a tool that we already have to navigate moving forward, or something that we can tap into to serve us. So that's this one. All right, so this is so good. The card for right now is Effortless, and I love this so much. First of all, let me just say that the energy I've been feeling the past couple weeks is like this. It's like good and bad and up and down and here and there, and it's a bit of a roller coaster. It's been a bit manic, I want to say, and I say that lightly. So if you've been feeling like staticky, or like you're in this place of like take a step forward, take a step back, or oh wow, I'm meditating, I'm doing so good, and then something kind of crosses your path and it like sets you off, or you feel stressed, or you're like, oh god, now I have this huge thing I have to tackle. Just know that I think that that's going around, because I've heard a lot of that lately, and I'm feeling it myself. So, but in terms of our current situation, effortless. Now, what does that mean? You know, here we have a picture of a waterfall, or like flowing downhill, and you know, it doesn't have to be done with force. It happens on its own. So I think this is a beautiful, not only where we are, but a reminder for where we are right now, that things come in such a way that if we release our grip, release our stress, any stressful reaction, things are going to work out. Like, let's as Abraham Hicks says, like, take the path of least resistance. If you're kind of torn between something, if you're feeling stress, I don't want to say give up, it's not what I mean, but give up the stress, give up the need to control, give up the need to plan down to a T. Let things flow. You will find so much quicker growth when the laws of the universe are directing the course, the flow of the river, and you're not trying to then accidentally swim uphill, or swim into an area that the river doesn't even go to. I hope that makes sense for you guys. Now is a time, we're in a paradigm that we should be supported. If we're working from our hearts, no matter what that means for you, we are in a time where the support is there. We are in a new paradigm now, and the resources and everything can be there for you. You just have to be authentic, be yourself. I just released a video on Emerald Paradigm about authenticity, you know, coincidentally, and we talked excuse me and we talked about how when we vibrate from our authentic self, the resources, the people, the connections, the things come to us that we need, and all we have to do is know what we want. I've seen this in my life very recently. I've been working Sundays in June so far, just hosting sound baths. They're very low key, very small groups, and I've been taking the donations and applying them to the office that I'm leasing in, because I want to get some couches for the main room and like just set it up so it's a bit cozier, right? So that was my intention. And today only one person came. One of my favorite people came and I was like, oh, this is perfect. I'll just do a nice little sound bath just for one person. It's going to be great. And then she donated, you know, unbeknownst or like unprovoked by me in any way, she donated an extra amount of money that I didn't ask for, but I'm so grateful for, to the fund. And now I can get that couch, you know, like things are happening in ways that Release the stress, just know what you want. Come from a place of your heart, like, why do I want this? Because I want this space to be comfortable, because I want to be able to serve people better, because I want it to be warm and welcoming and that kind of thing. And it's just like, that's what I have to worry about. I have to know what I want, but I don't have to necessarily worry about exactly how it's going to come to me, because I never could have predicted or done a ritual for or manifested through my mind this person giving me money, or donating to me and Blanca. Like, I couldn't have planned that. I had no idea, and it just happened. Like, amazing. So please, like, reflect on your life right now. Do you see, are you blocking any of that? Is that stress? Like, even like the little shit, like, when am I gonna eat? Oh, I'm hungry. What am I gonna eat? Oh, where can we go? What's by here? Blah blah. Like, sometimes even that kind of stuff, as simple as it is, right? Like, yeah, you're gonna eat. No, you're gonna eat. Okay, you're gonna grab some food somewhere. You're gonna pick it up. Even that kind of thing can become very stressful in like a day-to-day situation. Now, by all means, I should correct myself here and give myself a little slap, because of course there are individuals who are hungry, so maybe this isn't the best example. But the things in your day-to-day life that you tend to stress over, unless there's a resolution that will come because you need to figure something out. And what I mean by that is, if you're working through a problem, if you're doing math, if you're solving something, then by all means, like, you have to like allow it to you have to think, turn it around, and then potentially give it some space to work itself out. So I hope you understand what I'm trying to say there. There is a comfort to manifesting. There is a comfort and ease and natural thing that happens when we are in alignment with what we truly want, and that is what we're focused on. We're not focused on how, who, where, what, why, and all that. We just know what we want, and that will come to us. So let's see what we're supposed to release, or some thoughts on what we can let go of. Sorry, I'm like clearing my throat a lot. So this one we have wind and activation. Now, all these cards are fairly good, so I don't want to say that this is a bad card because I've called it release. But let's say, for me, wind is, just so you understand my thinking here, wind is east, wind is inspiration, wind is swords, wind is air, wind is thought and mental. So again, this is kind of for me confirming, what do we need to release, what do we need to keep track on or keep an eye over, or be diligent in discerning what we're allowing in. This is the mental plane. And I want to also say, we have to be mindful, potentially, I don't mean to be scary, but let's be mindful about what we're allowing to be, blowing into our minds, like people blowing smoke, like that kind of thing. So you want to protect your mental plane at this point. What I usually suggest to most of my clients when we're talking about the mental plane and being diligent, being focused, again, focusing on what we want so that we can manifest and have the resources and the right people and experiences and lessons come to us, because it's preparing us for the ideal of what we want. I usually suggest journaling or writing, to write out that goal, write out who you are, who you want to be, the goal of, what you're looking to manifest or step into, or anything. And by doing that and focusing it on a daily basis, you're strengthening your mental plane to include that, so you don't get pulled this way or that way. That's been another thing that has come up in my personal life. I have someone was a very good friend of mine, and the friendship ended, and maybe it will come back around again, but at this point I can't even entertain the idea of rekindling anything, because I simply don't, it's not in the bubble, like it's not in the goal, it doesn't serve the goal that I have. And by all means, I don't mean to say that like all your friendships have to serve your goal, but they kind of do, they do, as in they support you, they are in alignment. If I wanted to be very pure in thought, and then I was around people who complained constantly, like that would bring me down, or people who stressed me out, or something like that would be silly of me to put myself in that position. I can't control how people are, nor, it's not my job to, but I can decide what I allow into my space, particularly my mental plane. We can't always escape our families. We can't always escape the workplace stuff like right away, and any stress or anything like that. But we do have control over what we let here. If this is media, if this is scare tactics, if this is fear, be diligent. Like, don't allow it in. Add the good, focus on the goal, and keep focused on that to sail you over to that alignment of being in a position to step into that goal, to step into your desires and fully. Okay, so I have to burp. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. So we have forest as what is the guidance, what is the advice, what are the things that we can bring into our life to help us better in some regard to this reading. And it's forest and breathe. So for me, this is, we will do very well to disconnect a bit. I see not disconnecting from the self, connecting with the self, disconnecting from distraction, disconnecting from, I don't want to say man-made things because it's not exactly what I mean, but that which is manipulated, that which is crafted in some way to get to you, let's say like the media, like the scary news type stuff. And I'm not saying don't watch the news or don't be informed, be informed, of course, but know what's, okay, this is garbage right now. Like, okay, I got the information I need. Now let me go to this source, or let me think about that. Don't let the garbagey parts kind of like get to you. And I see a cleansing here. Connecting with nature is always cleansing for me. So, this week or over the next few days, try to get as much time in nature, in trees. This might mean as well as, there's roots there. So connecting again with like the material realm, the earth realm. This isn't necessarily a cosmic card, although, cosmic and earth are all around us, but this is an earthy card to me. This is roots, history, reflection through that. This is going to be a bit out there, but in the, let's say Akashic records, in the cosmos, all right, there are records of past lives, experiences, the future, like everything, right? There's you might have heard of this before, I'm sure. It's like this hall of records, right? But the earth has that kind of recording too. It's more root based. It's like the earth, it's memory. If you look at the earth as a being, as a realm, as its own deity of sorts, it's a thing that is alive, and it has memory. It keeps track of things on its own accord too. So if there's something you're looking to manifest, don't be afraid, or maybe not be afraid isn't the best way to say it, but don't neglect the opportunity to connect with the earth and pull it to you through your own roots. You could look at, if you had, your feet standing on the ground or whatever, and if you could picture roots or the roots of the trees, or just like the swirls of different material that are in the earth, like ore or gold or crystals or water streams or whatever you like to think of, know that they're all connected. So if you're trying to get here in the material plane, as in, I would love to be a homeowner, I am not, that's something I'm definitely working to manifest, I can tap into it more so, also through the earthly realm as well as the cosmos. But, to simplify this more, I think this is a lot about disconnection, breathe, focus on you, the self, and see where that takes you. All right, so I've already shared with you that I have that news. I'm trying to think if there was something else that I wanted to say. I'm kind of directed, I guess, after some quiet time just now to share a little bit with you about the Emerald Paradigm topic that we recently had, which was, again, authenticity. If you haven't watched that one, it is a good discussion. But we need to be able to reflect from a place of not taking it personally. And what I mean by that is, it's hard to look in the mirror. It's very easy to criticize yourself, don't get me wrong, but typically the criticism is more like superficial or not necessarily warranted appropriately, whereas the true criticism, which would be beneficial, would be to look at, am I being authentic? Is this how I feel, how I act? Is the person I'm presenting myself as the real me? Now, we're all very multifaceted. We all have, I kind of dress like this when I go to, this place, or when I'm home, I'm more relaxed, or maybe I dress a bit more feminine when I'm meeting with these friends, and when I'm meeting with this friend, I might, my look is a bit more, tomboyish or whatever. What I mean to say there is, we have different versions of ourselves in a capacity that we use and pull out at different times. It's not quite multiple personalities, but it's something that we all have, right? Like when you're around your parents, are you exactly the same as you would be around your friends, And I'd say I'm pretty close at this point because, I have a pretty relaxed family and, I can say whatever, but I'm certainly different around other people's families, or I'm certainly different when I'm feeling nervous and when I'm feeling elated, or when I'm feeling sleepy, or when I'm very energized and have had too much coffee. Like, there are different ways of expressing myself. There are different lunes that people meet. You know what I mean? So, tying this back to the difficulty in reflecting, I would say that this little piece of, it's not advice, I guess, but when something about another person bothers you, you have to be very mindful, because potentially that could be a very strong characteristic of yourself that you're not seeing, that you're what's the word? I don't want to say delusional, that's a bit harsh, but you're unable to witness in yourself, even though that quality is very strong. Like being a complainer, oh, my friend, she always complains, and then you're like complaining about that person. Or the people who complain about people who take to Facebook to complain about the other people on Facebook who are always complaining. You know what I'm trying to say there? Or criticizing someone for how they dress or how they present themselves. Meanwhile, you went through that time period, or meanwhile, you haven't hit that time period and it's going to come for you. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, obviously, we're not all going to dress the same, but I often have people ask me about, it's like a weird backhanded compliment. I get it, but it kind of frustrates me because I'm really a type who has worked very hard to get to a place of non-judgment. I used to be very judgy, through my life. I certainly have. And that's something that I'm working to master. Do I judge people still? Yeah, I do. I do off the bat. And I try to get away from it when I catch myself. The thing I have to do is be aware. And then I can change my thought, because I control my thoughts. And if I have a pattern of being judgy, then I can change that pattern and become more compassionate or accepting, or step back and see the bigger picture and understand that, hey, this is all happening for some kind of reason. This might lead to this, or this might come from here, or anything like that. So when somebody gets on your nerves, or when there's an action taking place, it's a good opportunity to reflect and see, again, we can't change other people, can we? But we can change ourselves. It's the only thing that we have control over is ourselves. So by being able to reflect from a place of non-biased, for ourselves, with love, but without a bias of, oh no, I'm not like that, oh I don't do that, oh I don't like that, so I don't do it. A lot of times the things that we don't like or rub us the wrong way are things that we do, like talking over someone. Oh, this person always talks over me, and they're like talking over someone to say that. I'm just pulling stuff out of the air. I kind of had a long day. I did a sound bath. It's Sunday. So this is kind of a cheat video because, like I said, I'm very anxious to get set up in my new space, and like I don't really have all of my tools here right now because I've been moving in a little bit. So forgive the cheating in this video, but I hope that just gives you something to think about. I mean, we could kind of go on forever about that type of thing, but it is hard to look at yourself from that place and tap into the true you and know that you can create yourself in however you would like to be. But to do so, you have to know how you want to be, and perhaps catch yourself doing things that contradict the way you want to be. You know what I'm trying to say? If I want to be a non-judgmental person, I have to know when the frick I'm being judgmental, or I have to know from a place of understanding that it's okay to judge at this moment. That's a feeling, that's a human reaction that I have that I'm working to overpass. So I'm not going to judge myself through that, and let's rewrite it. Let's send this person love. Let's remember the times that we did the same thing, or that we've done the same thing in the past, or the friends that we love that do that thing that person does, but we look, but it doesn't bother us because it's someone else. I hope I'm making sense there. So anyway, I'm just gonna wrap this up. I'm sorry it wasn't super relaxing, but I hope that it was something to gain anything from. And I just want to say that I have a lot of good videos planned. I know I keep saying that. You're probably like, yeah, okay, sure, where are they? But I really do. My next project for this channel was inspired by Hype Priestess on Instagram. I'll put her information below. She is used to be by Cat Love. She hosted a giveaway, if you remember, one of the first giveaways that we did on this channel, of other shops, not my own giveaway. And we created we have a little friendship, we like talk to each other once in a while. And she does this thing that I absolutely love called Pop Tarot on her Instagram account, and it'll be like some pop icon, and then the sun or whatever, and say something. I think it was Post Malone and the sun, and then there's details about the sun. So I reached out to her to say that she had inspired me, and I got her permission to kind of take that into my videos. So I'm going to be doing a bit of, don't think I'm going to settle on this name, but it'll be like a pop Reiki, like a pop themed Reiki. And the first one I'm going to do is actually Bjork. She's one of my favorite artists. She really was one of the first artists besides the Beatles, I guess, that I really became obsessive about. When I was little, I really loved the Beatles, and I was obsessed. And then when I got to high school, I had a friend, Atara Valentine. I don't know if you know him. He's a musician, but he introduced me to Bjork's music, and the rest was history. I just became obsessed, and I just loved Bjork. And people used to tell me I look like her in high school, and it would oh my god, they said I look like Bjork. Anyway, so her theme, what I'm inspired by, is an interview that I saw with her. I think it was a documentary kind of interview, and she was sharing the story of going to the city for the first time, and that she was freaked out because I guess she's from Iceland, and I saw this documentary so long ago, but it always stuck with me, where she got to Manhattan. I'm just gonna say it's Manhattan. I could be wrong, it could be a different city, but I'm gonna say it's Manhattan. And she was freaked out, and that she felt everything had a film on it, and it was greasy, the city was greasy, so she couldn't even touch anything because it had this film of grease on it. You're okay, where are you going with this? But my favorite part of this whole story is that she's so I got a bag of chips, or I think she said crisps, but I got a bag of chips, and I got greasy with it. And I love that concept. I love being able to, like, I don't want to say don't fight it, but like, you might have a better time if you let things flow, if you let yourself become more comfortable in the potentially chaos or the grease or the whatever. So the theme, I'm not really making super clear right now, but it has to do with the knees, the backs of the knees, flow, being okay in public spaces, being okay in spaces that are unfamiliar to us, and the textures and sights and sounds and everything is unfamiliar, or there's so many people. But if we let ourselves enjoy it, if we can find the novelty, and I love that word because I'm from South Jersey, right near Seaside Heights, and I have such a special spot in my heart for, the Seaside area. And there's a novelty. Like, if you're going to go there and like be judgmental about that place, you're not going to enjoy it. But if you let yourself like eat the big pizza, go on the rides, win the dolls, like win the games or whatever, and enjoy yourself and just have a good time, like let yourself have a good time. Don't create a blockage for yourself to obsess over, or don't obsess over this. Eat the chips, like get greasy with it. So it's kind of going to be part of the theme, and I'll clarify that probably a lot better in the actual video, but as a little candid description, that's what I'll give to you. And there's going to be a couple more in that series. I just was inspired to do something a little different. Maybe it's the summer energy, maybe it was certainly High Priestess that gave me the inspiration for that. And I like the idea of like finding these somewhat bizarre traits, or not even traits, but somewhat bizarre things that speak to me through pop culture, to take from that and make a Reiki session about it, or a healing session. I think that's really fun. So anyway, if you made it to the end of this video, like, bless you. Oh my God, thank you. I'm sending you so much love. If you made it to the end of this video, how about you leave me a pineapple in the comment or something silly like that to let me know, or an emoji of what you find most appetizing, because I love emojis. I feel like they're the best. Again, I'm so grateful for your support, for your love, for your patience with me as I go through this kind of, I don't want to say turbulent time, but this time of flux. And I promise, deeply promise, and I'm excited to make this promise to you, that once I'm in that space, my schedule is going to become much more predictable, much more, not like overdoing it, but my 2 videos a week, I'm going to be sticking to that, and it's going to be just a lot easier for me to get things done. I hope you understand the struggle of being very busy and then like having to try to stay up late to do these kind of videos. It can be quite taxing on my on my health in a way. Don't feel bad or anything, but I don't mean to make you feel guilty. Okay, I need to stop. Thank you so much, truly, from the bottom of my heart. As always, namaste.